Hello and welcome to Violin GM. Recently a student of mine asked me a question with regards to the positioning of the left hand wrist. If you look at violinists play, you'll sometimes see that some violinists tend to hold their wrist more in an angle like this, some tend to be more straight, and sometimes you'll even notice, especially among students, the wrist being in this position. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of all these positions? Well, first of all, I want to point out that from a physical point of view, the wrist is a very delicate part of our body. And we have to really take care that we don't overstrain it so that we develop carpal tunnel or tendinitis or things of this nature. So when discussing the positioning of the wrist, we have to bear that in mind above everything else. So we need to find a natural way and a relaxed way that's best for our bodies. What my teacher had me do once when discussing this is just take down your arm, shake the hand and the wrist loose, then put it up like this, and just see where the wrist naturally falls. Let's try that again. For me, it's something like this. And this, I think, is the ideal positioning of your wrist for the violin, your so-called default position. So if I do that with the violin up, it would be something like this. You also want to bear in mind that your hand position should be really framed according to your fourth finger. Your fourth finger is the weakest finger, so we have to take special consideration to that. So do that again and put your fourth finger on, and I think that's a good position because we can stretch the fingers back much further than we can stretch the fourth finger up. So that it looks about that. However, again, like I mentioned before in previous videos, you don't have to be rigid about it. There are some places where you might need to extend the wrist depending upon the repertoire you play. There are some places where you might even want to do this. However, if your wrist is too much forward like this, you're going to have a difficult time in shifting because you can only shift basically to second position, and then your wrist is going to run into the violin, and then when you have to do third, fourth, and fifth position, it's going to be much more difficult for you. So you want the wrist to be in a way where you can shift pretty much up to fifth position without running into the violin too much.